Back to your calls on the Bills in a little bit. Sabres head coach Lindy Ruff joining us on the Western Hotline ahead of tonight's game with the Ottawa Senators. The Sabres are starting a little run here of a bunch of divisional games. They'll play Ottawa tonight and Florida after that. 6 games in the division. Montreal after that. An 0-3 start to the season and looking for their first points. We bring in the Sabres head coach. Lindy, good morning. Jeremy and Joe, thanks for taking some time today.
Morning, gentlemen.
So, Lindy, it's interesting. I thought it was interesting that Tage Thompson said that you can't let 3 losses be the end of the world. He kind of answered questions about the past, about the context of what goes on with the Sabres when a slow start happens. I thought it was interesting. He didn't want to talk about the past, and I think also defendable. How about you for this? Like, how much of a conversation is it, or a struggle is it, to make sure that a 3-game losing streak to start the season doesn't become more than that, even though for a lot of fans it feels like more than that?
Well, for sure. From the outside, I totally understand the feeling. It's not the start we wanted. We can't do anything about the past. It's improving what lays ahead. We spent yesterday lengthy meeting on the areas where we can play faster. We can create more. We need more out of more people. When you're looking at a lineup that you're missing key personnel, there's areas of the game that I think we can play a lot faster. We can create more pressure. We can out-support the other team. And I thought we got closer to that last game. We failed on the side of creating enough offense to win a hockey game.
It's 2 goals in the 3 games, Lindy. That was, you had some question about that before the season. You would get questions about offense and Josh Norris being out. Do you feel like, best players are playing up to their standard, or even beyond that, maybe do you feel like you have enough best players to score goals at the level you need to?
I think we do. I think again, and I was asked this the other night, your best players have to be your best players. Your best players are the ones that, through a season, that will win you hockey games. If you look at that connection on our top line, which last year was basically Benson, Kulik, and Thompson, the number of opportunities they created inside of the game. Tomer's points per game were, I think, 1.18 playing with those guys. When you roll out your top players have to be the guys that produce for you. They have to be 90% of the times your top guys when it comes to defending against other teams' top players. I look at we have plenty of guys that can produce, and part of it has to come from them. Part of that is the structure of playing faster, creating more tenacity. Like I said, I thought we got closer to it. We talked a lot about we have to be a better defensive team. Defensively, we're answering the bell. Offensively, right now, I don't want to hear about guys that are out of the lineup. I think you let in with Brady Tkachuk is going to be out of the lineup for 4 weeks. You can't spend any time in that. We can't spend any time when Josh Norris being out of the lineup. We need more out of the guys that are in the lineup. When the guys in the lineup get their chance, and usually a chance comes when somebody gets injured, you step up in the lineup. It's the chance you've been waiting for. We need guys to grab a hold of that and take it right now.
How much of that are you feeling about Kulik right now? Yesterday at practice, he was not maybe on a regular line. You said there was a chance maybe he doesn't play tonight. One, do you know the answer to that question yet, whether he'll play tonight? And how much of that is Kulik not on the hook for compared to everybody else, but it's not much offense so far through a couple games.
This is not about the Kulik. You could pick 4 or 5 players. If you want to base it on offense, you can reach into a hat and pick 4 or 5 of our players and take them out of the lineup. It's not about one player. Effort has to be there. If you want to evaluate your own game, then you look at your own game and you say, what did I do last night to help us win a hockey game? What did I do offensively to help us win a game? What did I do defensively? And this isn't about Kulik, a young player that was still finding his footing in the game. Stepped into the middle for us last year and played well. This is not about one player, and there's no focus for me on him being the reason we're not creating offense. Our veteran players have to be better when it comes to creating offense, not our young guys.
Sabres head coach Lindy Ruff on a game day, Sabres and Senators tonight. You know, Lindy, sometimes the power play can be a spark. You're still searching there. 0-for on the power play, one of 3 teams in the league. And this has been a consistent problem. I mean, have you felt like it has looked better and it's due? Or is the power play been every bit as bad of no goals through 3 games?
When you look at, we've had chances every game where we've had good power plays and power plays that haven't really created a lot. Our power play's got to get back to that mentality that when we were going good last year, it was a shooting mentality. We had somebody around the net front, tips and screens and second opportunities were there. We've had good power plays through the stretch. The other night we had Darlene walk right through their team and, miss on a rush on a real good entry on the power play. We've had some shots from the point that I felt we didn't do a good enough job getting in front of the goaltender. So there's lots of little areas that I think we need to move the puck quicker. The puck has to move faster than the penalty killers, and I think sometimes we're deferring to, sitting on the outside and looking for that perfect play. We, watching goals around the league and watching power plays. It's more about getting pucks to the inside and getting players there that can tip, can screen. And I don't think we've been good at it. We've been good at it on some power plays and been poor at it on others.
Lindy Ruff with us on the Wester Hotline. I heard you with an interesting comment yesterday in the press conference about teams that are dumping and chasing versus carrying the puck in, like what other teams are doing defensively. On the power play, how do you feel about that? Like zone entries, is that a part of this problem too, or do you feel like it's more once you're in the zone in terms of getting set up on the power play in the first place?
I think, zone entries were a positive for us last year. The stand that the other team makes, if you're hitting that line with enough speed, you can usually solve that stand with the puck support. I think we've made some really good decisions when we hit the line. I think we've made, on other occasions, when we don't hit the line with enough speed, the entries don't look as good. It's really all connected. But last year, entries were one of the areas that was really good for our club, in the top 10 in the league. And now I think it gets a little frustrating when, you hit the line, you have that failed entry because now you've wasted 20 seconds. But I think it's all connected from once you get there and once you get in, what you're going to do with the puck.
Lindy Ruff with us. Lindy, some of the other injured players, whether Zach Benson, Michael Kesselring, if anybody will be ready to return tonight, or how close some of those guys might be getting?
Well, we're getting closer with quite a few guys. We can start. UPL was in practice, so he's closing in on a return date. Greenway was in practice. I would say, he has a good week. We're looking at probably by the end of the week, we're looking at possibly getting him back. Benson was back in, which I think will help us because he's been a little bit of the guy that gets down below the goal line that can help us make some extra plays. So you look at Kesselring. Kesselring is getting close to skating. I would say by the end of the week, possibly he gets, or by the weekend, he's possibly skating. So, the good news is we got bodies coming back.
And this stretch here, Lindy, we kind of talked before the season. You said like 6 out of 10 points. If you just kind of get 6 out of 10 throughout the season, you're in the mix for a playoff spot. And behind the sticks on that already, is there a feeling of like 6 division games? You have an opportunity here to, of course, you can make it up against any opponent, but these are the teams that, you're fighting for in a playoff spot and to try to get back into a playoff position. It's
really as simple as worrying about the one game tonight. totally agree that, and I've used it, that 6 points in 10 games is a magic number. The most we can get right now, so you get 6 points every 5 games. We need to get a win tonight, and then we move on to the next game and get a win, and we know that we're a couple points behind. And through the year, you'll have that 5-game winning streak. You'll have a couple-game losing streak. Let's hope that this adversity we faced in these first 3 games with no offense and different players out of the lineup is what's going to push us through to get into a situation where we can run 7-8 games together and make up for the 2 points that we've given up that we need in this first 5 games.
Sabres head coach Lindy Ruff. Tonight it's the Ottawa Senators at KeyBank Center. Lindy, thanks very much, and best of luck tonight.
You're welcome. Thank you, gentlemen.
Sabres head
Thanks,
coach Lindy Ruff.